He's doing it again. He's totally calm, totally unconcerned. As if he's not even involved. Wait. Not even involved.
What's wrong? I asked you if you think that's what happened.
Hell yes, that's what happened. So that's it, right? Byakuya's the killer.
I don't disagree with not disagreeing.
He kept calling this a game, right? So he'd be totally willing to do something like this to win.
Sorry. Can you hold on just a second? I think we need to talk about this a little more.
Sure. Do we really need to? We've already decided who did it.
I know, but still, there's something that's still bothering me.
Is that right? And what, pray tell,
This guy,
is still bothering you?
so condescending.
I killed her in the girls' locker room, then disguised my crime. Specifically, I dressed it up to make it look like it was the work of a homicidal psychopath. What about all that bothers you?
Wait. What was that just now? Something's not right. Chihiro's body was definitely found in the girls' locker room, but does that mean... Can I really just accept what Byakuya said is the truth? No, I don't think so. There's definitely something off about what he said.
I got it! You say you killed Chihiro in the girls' locker room, right? But are you sure about that? Isn't it possible that the murder took place somewhere else?
How disappointing. What kind of question is that? Even in the world of disappointments, this is a true letdown.
Damn, Byakuya.
She was found dead in the girls' locker room. There is absolutely no question about that. How could the scene of the crime have been anywhere else?
Well, I think it's entirely possible that she was killed somewhere else, then carried there later, along with the rest of the murder scene.
That's such a weird thing.
The rest of the murder scene?
Starting to sweat a little bit.
That was awfully specific. Please tell me you have a reason for saying all of that.
I believe I do.
Hey, Byakuya, did I just take you off guard? When the story suddenly moved to the crime scene, Byakuya had been so confident up till now. Maybe Byakuya never even realized that the actual scene of the crime could have been somewhere else.
Hey, don't just move on without permission! What do you mean she was killed somewhere else?
Permission?
Come on, Makoto. If there's any chance the murder took place somewhere else, let's see the proof.
What do I do? Stain her posters? Probably stain. Evidence that shows the murder took place somewhere else. There was something that was switched between the boys and girls' locker. Well, it's gotta be the posters if we're doing that.
Because that's the easiest one to...
I got it! The proof that she was killed somewhere else is the poster that's hanging in each locker room.
By the way, if we beat Byakuya in this, we'll have beaten the ultimate at his own game, which is quite impressive. Because Leon is still the best baseball star. But, like, Byakuya was born to win, so it's like, whoa.
Your proof is some posters?
The poster in the girls' locker room was a picture of a big-boobed supermodel.
A big boob?
Don't you think that's
That voice
kinda
actor
strange?
must have been like, this is the best line
Yeah.
ever.
Why would the girls' locker room have a poster like that?
I bet those massive jugs of hers were totally fake!
Seriously, put the scissors away. Standing right next to Hifumi.
Meanwhile, the boys' locker room had a poster of the super popular boy band Tornado. Again, that doesn't really seem to belong in a boys' locker room.
So you're saying that maybe the posters were switched?
Well, definitely. There was blood on one of them.
And there's one other thing I noticed about the locker room.
Now it's the stain.
You know what I'm talking about.
Yep.
Right, Sakura?
You're referring to my protein coffee, aren't you?
Protein coffee?
While I was in the girls' locker room earlier, I spilled some protein coffee on the carpet, but I noticed that after the murder, the stain had been totally scrubbed away.
No, it's not that the stain was scrubbed away. It was moved.
I got it! The stain on the girls' locker room carpet wasn't scrubbed away. In fact, I found it on the boys' locker room carpet.
That's definitely the stain from my protein coffee.
But does he like take a picture of it?
Well, that's what I assume, because like people react to when he says things. It's like he had to take a picture.
Then, does that mean that the carpets were switched too? But
Nice.
why would anyone do that?
Does he say that too then? He takes a picture, he's like, nice!
Yeah.
It's certainly plausible, don't you think? What? In other words, In order to completely swap the scene of the crime, the blood-stained poster and carpet were moved along with the dead body. By doing this, the killer was able to change the entire room where the murder took place.
And the murder happened at 2 in the morning. You have a lot of time to fix it.
Why would the culprit bother doing that? Huh? Why would they go to all that trouble of switching the scene?
Music's back, baby.
Actually, an even bigger question. If the murder did take place in the boys' locker room, then how did Chihiro get in the boys' locker room in the first place? To get into the locker rooms, you have to swipe your e-handbook across the card reader device. But Chihiro's handbook should have only allowed her access to the girls' locker room. She had no way to get into the boys' locker room to begin with.
No, she did have a way. And I can tell you what it was.
I highly doubt that.
Shut up! I'm telling you, I know how she could have done it.
Is he right? Could Chihiro really have gotten into the boys' locker room somehow? Broken e-handbook.
Is it really possible? Could Chihiro really have gotten into the boys' locker room somehow?
Hey.
I got it! She must have hacked her e-handbook.
That's gotta be the thing to break.
She was the ultimate programmer. I'm sure that would have been...
She used the thing that was in the car? I'm talking about Leon's handbook, of course.
Yeah.
If she had that, she could get into the boys'
But
locker room no problem.
yeah. That kind of takes care of it, though.
Is it really possible? Could Chihiro really have gotten into
I'm gonna take a hit for this, but I'll try it. Yeah.
Shoot!
Do you want me to give you a hint?
Well, let me see.
Is it really possible?
So the broken e-handbook could have been...
I got it!
Could have been Chihiro's, actually. Well, there's only... yeah, she couldn't have hacked it. There's no way I'm taking that as evidence. So I have broken handbook.
What then?
I'm talking about Leon's handbook.
Leon's.
If Leon's handbook is broken, how could she have used it?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, was able to use Leon. Yeah, but Leon's was broken. Alright. Fair enough. Oh yeah, I gotta remember to shoot the silent stuff. Oh, it looks like it cost me if I miss.
Yes.
Right.
If you shoot that
I have to be
stuff, you miss.
precise.
No, I don't think that's...
Haven't you played FPSs?
I'm
Jeez.
talking about Leon.
This is the ultimate FPS. You didn't shoot the actual...
Yeah, I'm pretty good. There we go.
No, that's wrong.
I forgot that was Leon's handbook. That was the one that was broken.
Or was it?
No,
That's
I
true.
don't think Chihiro used Leon's handbook.
Why not?
Because Leon's handbook was broken.
Oh. Well, then, yeah, I guess...
He just takes that, no
pretty
problem.
impossible, huh?
Oh, good
I was
point.
struck silent by how quickly
Yeah.
you gave up.
Plus, isn't there a regulation against using someone else's handbook?
Actually, the rule states that loaning your handbook is prohibited. It says nothing about borrowing one. In other words, you could borrow a dead person's handbook all you want, and you'd be safe.
Hit the nail square on the noggin.
Of course, if it were broken, that wouldn't make any sense anyway.
So then, she must have hacked hers, like I said. She used her ultimate programmer skills and...
You can't fix an e-handbook. The instant you open one up, a security buzzer starts blaring.
Huh.
So, if she didn't use Leon's handbook, and she didn't modify her own handbook...
Maybe Mr. Naegi's initial assumption is just... wrong?
It seems like there's no way she could have got into the boys' locker room. So I guess so.
Okay then, I vote for Byakuya.
Just jumps right in. Is that it then? Chihiro was killed in the girls' locker room and Byakuya is the one who did it? Really? Still, I don't know what else I can do.
Hold on a second. I agree with you, though. I think you're on the right track.
What the... You finally decide to open your mouth and that's what you've got to say? There's no way she could get in the boys' locker room, right? So...
Why are you so sure she couldn't get in? There's still one other way she could have gained access.
What?
What are you talking about? What other way is there?
Well, to explain that, why don't we take a little break from the trial?
What?
I'd like you all to come see something.
She did tell me to examine Chihiro's body thoroughly.
Wait. Just what do you think you're doing?
Don't worry. This'll make the whole trial more exciting. I'm sure that thought must please you.
Huh? It'll make things more exciting.
Wow.
Well, all right.
She knows
I declare
what buttons to press.
Class-style recess.
For real?
Now then, what is it you want to show us? It better not be boring, or I'll be very unhappy.
I was kind of suspecting, like, Chihiro just used her own handbook to get into the locker room. Boys' locker
I have
room.
no doubt it'll meet your lofty expectations. So, shall we go?
So before I even knew what was happening, the class trial had been put on hold. We headed off with Kyoko in the lead. And where she took us was... Yep. This is so weird. We're just back.
The girls' locker room?
We've already searched this place top to bottom. What are you trying to pull, Missy?
I'd like you to examine the victim's body one more time.
You want to check it again?
Be sure to examine the entire body very carefully.
Everything.
Every square inch.
Examine her carefully.
This guy.
Like using our hands?
For Christ's sake, dude.
No way, no way, no way, no way, no way!
She's 3D.
Yeah, 3D disgusting.
Best if I don't run my hands all over a girl's dead body.
That's okay, it's not a girl's dead body.
It's not that I'm creeped out or anything, it's just based on religious grounds, you know?
Guess I'm doing it.
Very well. I'll do it.
Alright.
But you're a girl. You shouldn't have to touch a dead body.
I'm sure she's made her own many times.
No, it's okay. I think Chihiro would rather have a girl examine her.
I don't know.
So just leave this to me.
Sakura. What is this? Some kind of secret girl-on-girl action? Is that what you two are about? That's not it at all. Stop screwing around.
Okay, here I go. I'm sorry, Chihiro. Please excuse the intrusion.
Putting her hands together in a brief prayer, Sakura then began to quietly examine her body.
Be sure to check her entire body.
Kyoko, just
fuck.
She keeps like, just drop it.
Her entire body? I know you say that, but what? This is... What is this?
Wow.
What is it?
Not possible. It's not possible.
Sakura's eyes were staring wildly at Chihiro's lifeless form. Her massive frame trembled.
This girl is...
Is what?
Is a boy!
Called it.
Ah, I see. So she was actually...
Oh, he did suspect?
Interesting. Thank you for confirming this fact.
No wonder he said no way, no way, no way,
Yeah.
no way. Oh.
Or he just didn't know and he just pretended that he knew.
Right?
I wouldn't joke about this.
Ben, it's really true?
Chihiro was a guy?
Oh, what? You guys didn't know? Heck, I knew that right off the bat.
What an ass.
Chihiro Fujisaki was totally a guy.
He was a cross-dresser? Oh, I'm really on fire! I wish
That's true, that was an opportunity.
So that's what Kyoko wanted to show everyone, huh? Interesting. Yes, that certainly does.
Because the other thing
much
is,
more exciting.
if
Now let's ride this
Leon's
wave of
handbook
excitement
was
back to the courtroom and get
broken,
back to the trial.
the only one who can get into the guy's locker room is a guy.
Yep.
I do apologize for keeping you waiting. Now then, let's resume the class trial. We've all just learned of the shocking revelation that Chihiro was actually a boy. Let's pick up from there.
Yes, well, I don't know his reason for hiding it, but the fact is, Chihiro was not a girl, but a boy.
To think that Chihiro was actually a guy. The thought had never even crossed my
And
mind.
because the victim was male, he would have had no problem gaining access to the boys' locker room.
Assuming his handbook did, in fact, list his gender as male, then
Monokuma
yes,
knew it, so...
that would be true.
Of course his handbook said he was a boy. He dressed like a girl, but he was a boy through and through.
So then, there should be no issue with Makoto's initial assertion. The victim was killed in the boys' locker room, and was then later moved to the girls' locker room, And the killer could have easily used Sayaka or Junko's handbook to get into the girls' locker room.
So Chihiro really was killed in the boys' locker room?
I still don't understand the motive for moving the body, but yes, that does seem plausible.
Well, it would have thrown off the whole case if you saw Chihiro dead in the boys' locker room.
Well, I must admit, I did find it rather odd. I knew he felt a little off. There was a certain incongruity to his female body.
This is the most titillating situation!
So now everything has been connected. All the mysteries have finally become clear.
Okay, well, connected or clear or whatever. We still think you're the killer, remember?
Very interesting.
Very
This has become very interesting indeed.
He's off in his own little world.
What about you, Makoto? After everything we've learned, do you still think Byakuya's the killer?
I hope he's not, because I want to voice him.
Well, without a doubt, Byakuya is the one that made Chihiro's death look like Genocide Jack did it.
Oh yeah, case 1. A killer can have an accomplice.
But I think he might not actually be the killer after all.
What? But aren't you
For all
the
you
one who
know-
accused him in the first place?
Byakuya found the dead body and said, hey, I'm gonna make this interesting.
Yeah, might as
Like
well.
he's enjoying us solving the mystery. The way he's acting, it makes it seem like it doesn't have anything to do with him.
And you think that might be because it doesn't have anything to do with him?
Plus, the evidence he left behind was a little too... How can I put
Yeah,
it?
for him, like, they were pretty poor attempts at a Genocide Jack display.
He consciously chose to use the extension cord, knowing it could
That is
connect him to the
weird.
murder. At least, that's how I see it. And Byakuya, when you found out the murder took place in the boys' locker room, it seemed to rattle you. And then again, when you found out Chihiro was actually a guy, if you really were the killer, that stuff wouldn't have had any effect on you.
So that's your thinking, huh? Well, it bothers me that you don't have more concrete reasons, but it's fine. I guess I'll mark it as correct for the time being.
This guy.
Mark it as correct?
He's right. I am not the culprit. I just happened to come across the corpse in the girls' locker room and decided
Meaning
to...
he also took one of the handbooks and was like, hey, what's in the girls' locker room?
Pretty much.
Are you fucking with us right now?
No, I am not effing with
This guy.
I'm telling you the truth.
Well, I find it very hard to believe.
Go ahead. Find it very hard to believe. You're free to be executed along with the rest of us.
If you're really telling the truth, then why? Why do you do that to his body?
My reasons hardly matter right now.
This guy.
Uncovering the culprit is much more important, wouldn't you say? Now then, if it wasn't me, who was it?
I hope we don't have to accuse right now, because that'll be tough.
I was just gonna say, hey, what do you think?
Sure, without talking about it a little more.
Because at this point, I have no idea.
You're seriously gonna keep going? We're all good, aren't we?
Oh my god, this guy.
Byakuya
You are so far behind, Yasuhiro.
No, I'm with Makoto. If there's any doubt whatsoever, we need to explore every possibility, because if we're wrong, we all die here.
That's true. Very well then. I'm with you too.
Damn straight.
She had
Count me
a,
in.
a contraction there.
Oh, I'm...
Do you not have a mind of your own?
Of course I do. What am I, an ant or something?
Anyway,
Ants have
let's
minds of
discuss
their
this
own.
They have
all
hive minds.
one more time. We still have time to make our decision.
That's very true.
Our lives are all on the line.
Excellent. Then shall we resume
Excellent.
our game of hide and seek?
But if Byakuya didn't do it, then who's the real killer? Who murdered Chihiro? There's one thing we can be sure that we know about the killer. The killer was able to gain access to the real murder scene, which means... Well, the real murder scene is the boys' locker room. I mean, this doesn't mean anything. You could take someone else's note, but whatever.
But the Leon's was broken.
That's right. Since the crime scene was the boys' locker room, you would need a boys' handbook to get in. Since Leon's handbook is broken, the killer would have had to use their own. In other words, it had to have been a guy. But that's not enough. I need to find more clues. Who could it be? If it's not Byakuya, the Diviner? Like Yasuhiro, Hifune, Mondo? Celeste's account.
Isn't there a single clue that might lead us to who did it?
Clues are one. Did nobody get a look at the killer?
I'm sure.
Or someone saw the
Killer, they...
Perhaps someone saw the victim.
At some point. All we need right now is any kind of new...
It's over.
So Celeste account, I
You wanna know who
guess.
saw the killer?
And only the kid. It's not like they're just gonna turn them
So it came over, man.
Game over, man. Game over.
He just said the only person who
Yeah,
saw...
saw was the killer.
Okay.
There is an eyewitness account regarding Chihiro. Yeah.
Isn't there a single clue that, well, clues are... Nobody can alert. I'm sure someone saw the killer. Perhaps someone saw the victim at some point. Yeah. All we need right now is any kind of new info. It's
over. So, you want to know who saw
the victim?
The killer.
No, it's wrong.
Great. I love that.
I believe someone else did see the victim before he was murdered. What do you think, Celeste?
Now that you mention it, yes. I did see him.
Really?
Oh, but I suppose only Makoto knows about this. The rest of you had no idea, did you? That is why you're all making such ugly noises.
Whatever! Just hurry up and tell us!
It was last night, right before nighttime. I saw Chihiro in the dormitory warehouse. I saw him stuffing a track jacket into a duffel bag, and then, I assume, he headed off to exercise.
A track jacket and a duffel bag? But we didn't find anything.
Yeah, that
like
does bug
in the
me.
murder scene.
It seems likely that the culprit destroyed them to get rid of any evidence.
And that is when he said something that struck me as rather odd.
Well, I'd better get going. I'm kind of in a hurry.
Chihiro told me he was in a hurry, but why would he be in a hurry? Only if someone were waiting for him, I should think.
Wait a minute. Mondo said he would do whatever he could to help Chihiro train. I don't know if he knew that Chihiro was a guy, but if so, he could have been the spotter and therefore the killer.
So, Mr. Fujisaki was on his way to meet with someone, and then they were going to work out together?
But Hina and I had invited him to exercise with us plenty of times, and he always declined.
Probably because he was afraid you'd find out the secret he was hiding, right?
Which means that conversely, he must have trusted whoever he was meeting with very much.
Whomever.
Enough so that he was willing to risk his secret being revealed.
Oh, what a marvelous friendship! The point is, whoever he met up with is the culprit, right? So we just gotta figure out who it was.
But knowing what we know, I can't even guess.
No. You already have what you need
Kyoko.
to make the connection.
He keeps doing this.
Huh?
You know who the killer is.
Seriously?
Who is it? Who's the killer?
Think back to the track jacket and duffel bag the killer disposed of. Focus on the details of these items, and it should become obvious who was waiting for him.
Are you sure about that? You really think we can figure out who did it based on 2 pieces of evidence that we don't have?
What? You want to track down some fingerprints or something?
Even if we had the equipment for that, we wouldn't know how to use it.
As was noted, the evidence is already gone. There's nothing to get fingerprints from.
I find it kind of funny though how they totally write off the fact that how did he or she dispose of the evidence? Did they go to the incinerator?
Yeah.
Well, whose job is it to control the incinerator?
I know.
That whole thing is out of the way.
Whatever.
Like, we're only worrying about these new rooms that you can go in.
Yep.
But fine. Celeste, did you notice anything special about the bag or jacket?
The bag was just a normal duffel bag from the warehouse. All the bags in there are the same, so I can't imagine what would make that one special.
Well, if I remember right, there was a decent variety of tracksuits to choose from. Do you think there might be some connection between the culprit and Chihiro's jacket?
Perhaps. Let's explore that and talk a bit more about the jacket.
I don't
detail.
remember this part.
Huh. Does Chihiro's jacket really hold some clue about the killer? Somehow, it's really hard to believe. Celeste account again.
First of all, we know that he was on his way to go exercise.
Yeah.
So we have to.
Why did you choose the specific?
What do you mean the
specific? I got it!
It matched the one the culprit was wearing.
So, what's your
The killer was wearing the same blue tracksuit as him? My tracksuit is black.
I don't even have a tracksuit, because exercising sucks.
I have a white tracksuit, personally. I got it from the warehouse.
Did any of that really help us get him closer?
No way. Not a chance.
Wow.
You heard him, right?
How do you know something like that?
First of all, we know where Chihiro.
He was on his way to go somewhere.
What he said.
Why did he
So that's it's gotta be Monzo or Yasuhiro.
What do you mean? Specific. I got it.
It matched the one the culprit was wearing.
So,
what's your...
the killer was wearing the same blue tracksuit as him? My tracksuit is black.
I don't even have a tracksuit.
Did they go over what color tracksuit Chihiro was?
I have a white
Yeah, it was just a tracksuit out. Yeah. So Mondo, it is Mondo. And Mondo was the one who said he would help Chihiro train and everything. That did kind of throw me. And Yasuhiro said he got his from the warehouse and he didn't touch anything else. And there's no more silence, by the way.
So, the killer was
Wearing the same blue
No, he's wrong.
So I'm still losing a voice no matter what. This sucks. The good news though is he's the one who's the most taxing on my throat. He's hard to voice for a long
What did you
time.
just say?
Huh? What'd I say?
When Celeste testified a few minutes ago, she said...
And that's another thing. This is gonna sound really stupid, but another reason I suspected it might not be Byakuya is because how would they execute him? Like, what would they do? Like, as stupid as it sounds,
they do.
You gotta have
in the art book.
I know you said there's something in the art book, but you gotta have a show-stopping number in the game, and like, so.
That's true. They might have come up with a kill for all of them, and then
after the fact,
which 5 of these are the best? Those would be the killers.
I was thinking the opposite. I was thinking they just did the game, and they were like, huh, you know, what could they have killed the other people like?
Okay, you could have done that too.
So, yeah, stuffing a travel bag ahead of
exercise. They already said that.
Yeah.
She never said anything about the jacket's color. So why did you say Chihiro's blue tracksuit?
What are you? You just...
Hey, Celeste. What color was Chihiro's tracksuit?
As a matter of fact, it was blue.
And before we began the trial, did you tell
No, we were the
anyone
only
that?
one.
The only one I told about any of this was you.
Then, Mondo, how did you know what color Chihiro's tracksuit was?
Well, because I just... I'm sure he saw the clothes at some point in the investigation.
No, that can't be it. The bag and clothes were surely disposed of by the time we began our investigation.
Then the only reason he could have known what color the tracksuit was is if he saw Cherry with it before he died. That's the only possibility.
Cherry? Are you talking about Chihiro?
So, how about it? Did you see the tracksuit or didn't you?
Please don't
look at her tongue. Look at her tongue.
Yeah, it's like a little curling around. Christ.
Just by chance. I just happened to see it last night. He walked past me, and he was carrying the tracksuit in his hands.
No,
Can't be, because it was in a duffel bag.
that can't be it either. According to Celeste's testimony...
Just digging your hole deeper, Mondo.
Yeah. I'm losing all my voices.
She stuffed the jacket into her bag in a hurry.
Yep.
It was almost like she was trying to hide it. And just like that, she was gone.
When Celeste noticed it, Chihiro made a point of making sure the jacket was completely in the bag. If you just ran into him briefly, you couldn't possibly have seen what color the tracksuit was.
It would appear you dug your own grave.
Hey, you just said that too.
Perhaps. But you handed him the shovel, didn't you?
Freaking
That's why you
Byakuya.
said what you did. Focus on the tracksuit and it'll be obvious who he met with? What a bunch of nonsense.
Ah, now I understand. It was all one big bluff, wasn't it? Your true intention was to draw a slip of the tongue from the culprit. That's why you said you knew who did it. To put them on edge.
That's right. However, Mondo was my target all along.
Oh, come on.
I had my suspicions about him from the very beginning.
But why? What made you so suspicious?
That's a good question.
Because I hate him. Damn.
There was a certain turning.
Alright.
Are you a witch?
Oh.
She's a witch!
Well, when you were talking to him earlier, do you notice how he got so, like, calm about... And we during the investigation, even, when you asked about Chihiro,
yeah,
he would
said,
just be like...
I was wondering, actually, when we asked about Chihiro, he's like, man, dude had a complex or whatever. The dude kept talking about getting stronger. I did wonder why I said dude.
And not only that, too, but he was so, like, reserved. He wasn't, like, so, like, ah!
Yeah, he usually is.
Grateful as someone capable of murdering a friend.
Mondo, was it really you? Did you really kill Chihiro?
I didn't kill anyone! You've been all over me, judging everything I say, putting words in my mouth. What gives you the right to treat me like a goddamn criminal?
Yeah, he would never do something like that. This is a
bro.
false accusation.
It's true. My reasoning on that is pretty shaky.
That was fast.
Well, this does present us with a problem. It seems we are all out of leads.
Oh yeah, he had something.
Really come. That's what my little ghost friend is telling me.
He's got that cool voice.
Oh yeah, that reminds me. Hifumi, weren't you telling me you found some evidence?
Really? What kind of evidence?
Actually, no. Now that I'm thinking about it here calmly, it might not be all that relevant.
Jeez, does your confidence just get up and walk away? It's fine, man. Just tell us.
If you really insist, then, here it is.
What do you have there?
It happens to be an e-handbook. I found it laying on the ground, so I scooped it up.
You found it on the ground, right? Then it must belong to mine.
I got it! We know Chihiro's handbook was missing from the scene of the crime, right?
For a fact.
For a fact indeed. I was totally sure I'd found it.
Then it must hold some clue about the culprit, right?
Well, that's what I was hoping. But
That
it's
was-
busted. It won't even turn on.
So someone else found out the handbook's weakness, I guess.
I imagine the culprit broke it to
But you
get rid of
can't
any
just
evidence
break
after
it.
the
You need to do
murder.
something special.
That's odd. I didn't think the handbooks were quite so fragile.
You're right. They're not. They're totally waterproof and shock resistant. It would take an awful lot to break one.
And yet, this one does appear to be broken, as is Leon's, sitting useless in the main hall.
I'm thinking... This is a stretch, but maybe they're weak to heat, because Mondo was in the sauna, maybe he noticed something. Maybe his own handbook broke, and he was like, oh, okay.
For all your confidence,
But then the moral
that
center
is
would
a
have known this too.
remarkably high failure rate.
No,
No, he took his clothes off. Yeah.
Do you think there might be some kind of mystery in there somewhere? How, precisely, did the handbooks get broken?
No, damn it! I didn't want to press down again. Crap, that's...
That's wrong! How could you pick that?
It didn't take the third... There.
I got it!
Jeez.
You already told us before that the handbook has one weak point, didn't you?
You remember that? Sure, maybe
So
I'll
now,
get that
so now they
straight,
all go into the
but I
sauna and
never
just
told
break all the
anyone
handbooks.
Yeah,
what this
but then they can't use the
point
lockers.
But if the handbook is supposed to never break, and two of them broke in quick succession,
Then we can only assume.
Can you
that
think
someone
of why
figured
both
out
of them are
its
broken, though?
weakness.
Yeah, Leon's is tougher.
You know what the weakness is, right, Monokuma? So, what is it?
The incinerator. No, but he wasn't anywhere close to that, though.
You're asking me?
I think it's a necessary piece of information if you want this to be a fair trial.
But if I tell you, and someone else decides to copy it, that would be very not good.
Just tell us already. Why would we want to break our own handbooks?
Oh well, I have a weakness for pushy demands. But you're sure you won't follow their example? Then allow me to make a special announcement. The weak point of my
Leon, that's
cutting-edge
tough.
e-handbook is... when it's exposed to high temperatures
Ah.
for too long, it will suffer a meltdown and totally break!
But yeah, when would Leon's have gotten in there? That's my question.
I flippin' knew it!
Because he died before the sauna even opened up. Like, again, there's the incinerator, but... did they do something to his body after they killed him?
You knew it?
Yeah, because I found the handbook laying on the floor of the sauna. The temperature in the sauna can reach over 200 degrees.
Jesus.
Strange how you don't get burnt, huh? It's because as your sweat evaporates, it creates a cooling
Yeah, but I don't know, dude.
layer of air around your skin. If the hot air of the sauna were somehow pushed directly onto your skin,
Look at Genocide Jill, just like,
you'd
hey.
definitely get fried. That layer of air would get blown away. That's why you may feel a burning when you move around. So when you're in a sauna, make sure to keep nice and still.
Interesting. I learned one new fact today.
Thanks.
That is a mere trifling speck of knowledge.
Anyway, if you found the victim's handbook in the sauna, then the killer must have been purposely trying to raise its temperature in order to break it.
Meaning the culprit somehow knew its weakness.
But how'd they find out? Monokuma said he didn't tell anyone, right?
Indeed.
That's gonna be the end of the case. Like, hey, Mondo, take out your handbook. Because he had all his clothes on during the sauna competition.
What if they found out by accident?
What do you mean by accident?
What if the killer took their own handbook into the sauna, not knowing its weakness, and it broke? They'd realize it was broken, of course, and it wouldn't be hard to figure out why.
Wait a minute. Maybe that's why the moral center is Mondo's bro. When you asked who won the contest, Mondo was like, shut up, doesn't matter. Like, maybe they came to some sort of agreement. I don't know, that seems like I might be stretching a little bit, because Byakuya manipulated the body, but...
And once they had Chihiro's handbook, they knew they had an easy way to dispose of it.
Mondo might have discovered it later and tried going to the locker room or something.
I won't say it's not possible, but who would have done something like that? I don't know of anyone who took their handbook into the sauna.
I might know someone who did.
Whoa! Seriously?
I think the one who may have taken their handbook into the sauna was...
That's kind of funny.
He knows.
Yeah. All the clothes into the sauna.
Look at that face.
Here's my answer. Mondo, your handbook got broken in the sauna, didn't it?
What?
Why? Why do you keep accusing him?
Yeah.
Mondo and Taka had an endurance contest in the sauna not too long ago. Remember?
That was freaking
Before the
intense.
contest, Mondo just so happened to keep his
I love how he's
school
got the sweat
uniform.
towel on his pompadour.
But little did he realize, he'd also left his handbook in one of his uniform pockets. And when it was all over, Mondo discovered that taking your handbook into the sauna could easily destroy it.
Wait, hold up.
Yeah.
You've got it all wrong. He would never kill. I don't accept this. Show me the proof. The actual solid proof.
I love how he's the one making us fist up instead of Mondo.
Because he doesn't want his bro to be the one who...
I don't want to believe it either, but I found something that proves it beyond a shadow of a doubt. Broken handbook, Chihiro's handbook, and card reader. Huh. Let's see what they say.
Let's test Makoto's assertion. If what he says is correct, you got your own handbook.
In other words, if Mondo's handbook, then that proves that what
Oh my goddamn handbook works just fine.
See? Look! Makoto was wrong after all. Mondo wouldn't hurt a fly.
He's a freaking bike gang leader.
Let's test Makoto's
Well, the broken
assertion.
handbook was Leon's,
If
and
what he
Chihiro's
says
was
is
Chihiro.
correct,
Are you sure the
then
broken
Mondo-
handbook is
Yeah, maybe it's not
Leon's?
Leon's. Yeah.
In other words, if Mondo's handbook, then that proves that my goddamn
handbook
Okay.
works just fine.
I'll have to loop that.
Makoto was wrong. Mondo wouldn't hurt a fly.
This guy, though.
Let's test Makoto. If what he says is correct, you got your own handbook. In other words, if Mondo's handbook is then that proves that what Makoto says.
Well, my goddamn handbook works just fine.
I think I missed that opportunity. I pressed the wrong button.
You had the opportunity and you just missed it.
Yeah. I'm pretty good. I'm pretty good at video games.
Let's test Makoto. If what he says is correct, you got your own handbook. In other words, if
I will
Mondo's
say it's
handbook
easier on the
is
Vita.
what Makoto
Yeah. Because you can just touch it.
I don't even touch it, just the controls are
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Music's freaking great.
Mondo, The handbook you have right now.
Ah.
Is it really yours?
The fuck is that supposed to mean?
The broken handbook that was in the main hall. Isn't that one actually yours?
What the heck are you talking about?
What I mean is, I think Mondo swapped his handbook out for one that actually worked. I think he took Leon's handbook and replaced it with his own. After all, Monokuma said himself that Leon's handbook never should have broken.
That's right! The punishment it suffered wasn't nearly enough to destroy it.
So then, the broken handbook in the main hall is actually Mondo's, which would mean that the handbook Mondo has
And it should tell you like whose it is when you open it up.
Yes. But doesn't that violate the school regulation that says loaning out your handbook is
Who loaned anything?
Well, here's how I look at it. There is a rule about loaning your handbook to another student. But if they're dead, they're not a student. It's kind of a gray area, I admit. But no worries. If anything, it just makes things more interesting.
Wow, Mondo's punishment is going to be freaking brutal. I'm just picturing, like, drone and quartering with bikes.
As such, I decree that exchanging handbooks with a corpse is not a violation of the rules.
Well, Mondo, if I'm wrong about this, you're welcome to say so. I'm happy to admit I made a mistake, but...
Son of a bitch.
What's wrong, bro? Come on! Tell him he's wrong! You are wrong! You have to be wrong! Everything you just said is wrong! You made it all up!
Okay, then why don't we look back on this
the
case
comics?
one more time, from the beginning. That way, everything will become clear. And we'll all see if I was
They always end with a comic and then that final rhythm battle.